So I'm in this town, and I'm seeing that a lot of people aren't believing me. I'm seeing a picture that nobody else can see. I'm saying the justice system isn't it's flawed, but nobody's going to believe that. I'm now on this welfare system, and society is judging me to be lazy and stupid. And it's like, I'm far from stupid. I got to prove it. I got to be a salesperson. How do you be a big salesperson? Well, you got to have evidence. You got to have information that helps you sell your story, sell the product, sell the concept, sell the truth you want to tell other people. And I'm drinking this bottle. So voila, holodynamics shows up in my face. And this guy's curing all friggin' illnesses, helping me understand every single thing that has gone on, and giving me the sales tools to be able to present it. Ironically, anytime that I end up telling anybody, hey, you should go check out this holodynamics, it's just not me, this concept will explain everything. Every single time that I show anybody this concept, they reject it. It's New Age, it's a cult, it's metaphysics, it's evil, it's, people are not even opened up to a suggestion that, hell, you can cure cancer, you can cure AIDS, you can cure every freaking illness, and nobody wants to look at it. Everybody's complaining about their freaking illnesses, and yet when a cure shows up, you don't want to look at it. You don't even want to read the freaking books. Okay, so I'm looking at humanity has friggin' lost their minds. They want something, but they're doing everything they can to block it out. And why? Because there's no pill to this. It's just understanding your actions. It's understanding yourself. If you understand yourself, and you understand your world, and you understand your economic systems and your justice systems and everything, what happens? Doctors can't sell pills anymore. Doctors start realizing that, oh, I went and got all of this education and I know shit. And one thing you got to understand is the cause of cancer. What causes cancer? I did some research on the Cancer Society, and they're saying 50% of all cancers can be prevented. They're also curing cancer if they can convince people to change their lifestyle. So, cancer in general is caused by our industrial world, our economic system, all the ways that we work and make a living, and all of the products that we buy are all designed to friggin' kill you. And most people are making a lot of money off death. Funerals, lots of money in the funeral homes, lots of money in selling pills as you die in from something. And ironically, if you notice, you can never prove, BP oil is a good example of this, that, they definitely put out a lot of poison and toxic, poison in there. You go to court, and they know how to drag a court system out so long that you're dead before they're ever found guilty. It's next to impossible to prove that any corporation is actually guilty of putting poison out into your environment. It's illegal to say that there's a cure for anything, because if you actually prove what the cures are, you're actually putting the corporation out of business. And you can't do that. So that's why the justice system won't allow you to prove it, is because corporations would be out of business, and they have all of the money, so you can never prove them wrong. So that's where every single disease you get is created by how we live, our lifestyles, our businesses that we run. Now, I'm looking at a lot of people are saying different answers to a different economic system. We're seeing this global collapse in our economic system, and I'm seeing so many genius mathematicians coming up with these genius ideas And now that I see a different picture, I'm seeing that, do you know that you're just redesigning the same system? You know, you are not changing the justice systems, which the justice systems are causing all of these problems. If somebody wants to, you know, Julian Assange is a good example. They want to kill the guy for letting out information that will end up unfolding world peace if we all know what everybody's doing. If we all had information, it doesn't matter whether his information is right or wrong. It's a matter of, let's put all of the information on the table. Let's get rid of all of the contradictions and see what truth is. Let's see how this thing flies. So they don't want to solve any problems, so they want the information suppressed. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to get away with what it is they're getting away with if everybody actually knew what the plan is and knew, you know, what everybody's doing behind everybody else's closed doors. You can't manipulate anybody if you knew all of the information. It's best to keep everything a secret, because then you can manipulate people. But we're in an age of truth. We're in an age of information, and the more information we get, the more we understand how to solve problems. So the government systems want, you know, him dead. It's illegal. He hasn't broken any laws. So that's what our justice system does. Is, you know, anytime a corporation wants to do something, they have all of the money, so they, you know, bribe your politicians and create laws that make whatever it is they're doing legal. So that's what they're trying to do, is make it legal for them to go and kill Julian Assange, you know, shut him up, make a law. And it's like, what are our laws? Our laws are just something that somebody wants to get away with, so they create a law so they can get away with. But it doesn't mean it's moral, it doesn't mean it's right, it doesn't mean that society will actually live right. So while I'm seeing these people come up with a new economic system, they're repeating the same patterns and they can't see it. And I'm not being understood when I say, hey, there's a little bit of problem with that. And one of the ways is to see it is how we get sick. That's our baseline. If you want to design a completely new system, you've got to look at what's an acceptable death. Because if it's going to be a good system, it shouldn't do any harm to anybody. There should be no wars. There should be, you know, nobody should be hungry. You know, nobody's getting any illnesses. None of the products that we're putting out should actually kill people, shouldn't stress anybody out. You know, so this is the baseline that I'm dealing with, is they do say that if we want to build, solve the problems of today, it's going to take a completely new mindset. That is the new mindset, is your illnesses. That is the baseline. If you want to come up with any new system, nobody's getting sick. And that's a hard pill to swallow. So there is, I mean, we've got this big problem. We can't solve our healthcare problem. Why? Because while our corporate structure has these cost-effective rules, even our politicians, every system that we have right now is based on a cost-effective. You have to make profit at all costs. So that's why we tend to see that we don't have value for human life, because it's about the greater good. The greater good needs money. The greater good needs jobs. But we're not seeing that, you know, the corporate structure is not actually creating jobs, although they talk about it, but they are all trying to automate things and, you know, shrink things. We'll start off big and then start laying off. And that might take years of a process, so you can't even see it happening. But it is this game that's being played out. And, you know, death is big business. Death and taxes. You can always trust on death and taxes. So it's like, okay, we've got to change the way we tax, and we got to change the way we die. And then we'll create a better system. And that is the answer to this new healthcare system, is if our business structures, if our legal structures, our education systems, our, you know, the way we sell everything, the way we manipulate everybody, if it wasn't causing anybody to get sick, then we're on the right track. But if it's actually somebody's getting sick, you have to look at the cause of why anybody's sick. You can no longer make it illegal to say there's a cure to something. You can no longer, if you are poisoned, you should be able to prove the causes of it and not make it impossible to prove the cause. If you're dying of something. If it ain't that factory that's putting poison into your air that you can't prove in court, what is? There should be some way that says, you're sick, we need to find the causes of this. But that's illegal right now. You can't do that. It's illegal to say that there's a cure out there, because if you actually prove that there's a cure, we'd be stopping the whole economic system the way it's run today. So, the big blow your mind picture here, and this is really, really, really wild and really, really out of the box. We see everybody going down this path. We see things that, patterns that are happening over time, and because it happens year in and year out, for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we believe that's what life is about. These are some certainties you have in life. And everybody dies. You see everybody die throughout history. Is that really true? Now, I'm just throwing out the concept. Question it. Does that really make sense? Just because everybody's been doing it for thousands and thousands of years, everybody has died. Nobody's escaped that yet. So just because the whole freaking humanity tribe has been dying all throughout humanity's experience doesn't mean it's true. Because if you really look at it, if all illnesses have a cause, and you cure the cause, you cure the illness, would you die from any illness? Aging was another thing. I wasn't aging. I had this, I don't know, you are what people label you. You'll turn into the program that's constantly told to you all the time. So all the time that I was growing up, I was always told I was no good, I was lazy, I was stupid, but damn, I was pretty. And then the eyes. What gorgeous eyes. I mean, people would... that's all I ever heard all my life is, wow, aren't you pretty? Kind of was offensive to me, because it was like, you know what, I got a brain inside there. I'm more than what I look like. It's almost like people would judge my life based on my looks. That, oh, you should get a guy anywhere. You're so pretty, you could find a man anywhere. And it's not about, what about me loving that other person? Yeah, there might be a billion people out there, but finding that perfect connection, the one that I love back, somebody that actually loves me. I'm not just wallpaper for them to carry on their arm and make them look good because they got a pretty girl on their shoulders. That one is a trap that it really does feel like nobody wants me, the person. They want me, the package that I look like. And, oh, you could get a job anywhere, or, I could get everything just because of the way I look. And it's like, wait a minute, this life challenge is just as hard for me as anybody else. Your life is not going to be any better just because of the way you look. You can manipulate people, you can, I could go for the money, but I won't be going for the love. I won't be enjoying my life if I allow people to use me because of what I look like. But it is something that I could definitely use as a tool to manipulate the world if I wanted to, but it never ever felt right to me. But so it's still the same challenge as what everybody else is dealing with, but I want it to be, I got a brain inside there. But I'll continue on another tape.